So I would pretty much want to talk about this journey of success. A lot of people think that success means you have to be driving big cars, sleeping in mansions, going on those expensive holidays. Most of those things come as a bonus. So they come as what do they call it? So it's like a top up, the icing on the cake. You know what I mean? Because the success has already been done within you. So these are the things that come along with it. They are they're like a bonus. So it's like you're putting this icing on the cake to continuously enjoy your success. But in my own understanding, success is simply waking up in the morning and being that person that you wanted to be. You've always wanted to be. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that you ought to wake up in the morning and be like everybody else. You wake up in the morning, you're a free soul, you're a free thinker. You can wake up and do the things that you've always wanted to do and to be that person that you've always wanted to be. And at the same time, I've also learned along my journey as well that success, you cannot achieve success when you have not done some work within yourself. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter what you want to do. Normally, success always starts with doing the work within yourself. So it is that work that you do within yourself to heal those things that were keeping you stuck in some kind of cycles. You heal those things and you come out on the other side and then you create a new path for yourself. So a lot of people who are successful, if you look very closely, those people, they have got a brand. I would like you guys to listen to me very closely. People who are successful, I want you to look around. Look around in your neighborhood. Your friends, I don't know, family members, you are going to see those people, they have got a brand. It is that brand that they have created at some point. It has put them on this path of success. So what do I mean by this? They are waking up and going out there and doing that thing that they really want to do. What that thing that is really they're really passionate about. It is something like it's coming from their soul. Because remember, when you create a brand, you're creating something that nobody can ever take from you. So it is your own creation. You know what I mean? The person who created these BMWs, they know that nobody can copy them. Of course, there are some other versions of those fake other models that want to look like them. But at the end of the day, it is still your brand. It is something that you have created yourself. They're the only people that I know in this universe that have been able to achieve that success that we were all talking about. You know what I mean? But today I want to emphasize the things that usually happen along this journey of success. So most of the times in your early journeys, I'll speak from my own perspective, but you guys can always, because like I've told you, we're all going to be going different journeys. So we are all going to be walking different paths. So my path may not be your path. It may be somebody else's path. So we're all going to be moving on different paths, but it doesn't matter which path you take. So the whole patterns and the cycles and the mechanisms are usually going to be similar. You know what I mean? So the moment you start getting out of that little box and you decide that you're going to start thinking for yourself, so you will see a lot of times you're going to get the people, they call them the curious stalkers. They're like the curious stalkers or the curious minds. So you're going to get these people who are the curious people, the curious minds, the curious stalkers. You can put what name fits in your situation. So those individuals, they are coming around because those individuals, those are the people that you know. Most of the times, these curious people, not always the case, but they're usually the people that have been along your journey. And there may also be sometimes people who may meet you on the way, and they're kind of curious, what is this person doing? You know what I mean? They feel like you're giving birth to something, but they're not very sure what it is. So they're trying to come around and see what it is. You know what I mean? So for example, me, I'll give an example, a very clear example. So when I started this journey of my channel, speaking about narcissism and everything, so the guys that I used to have in the beginning, many of them, not all of them, but many of them. So those were the curious minds. You know what I mean? So sometimes you would come and there are people, you will see people asking you, you hear people asking you, oh, what God do you believe in? Do you read the Bible? Which church are you going to? Those kind of things. You know what I mean? There is people who are coming along your path and they are trying to understand you. But you know something? Let me tell you something about this thing of spiritual development, ladies and gentlemen. Your path is going to confuse people. Your path and your journey is going to make people scratch their heads. It is going to confuse a lot of people. It is going to confuse your family members. Your path is going to confuse your friends. You're going to be hated. You're going to be rejected. People will run away from you. You know what I mean? But along your path, you realize also that a person who is spiritual growing and evolving, that you come to that sense whereby you start shedding a lot of skin. You know what I mean? Because when you start creating something, if you look at me, for example, like I've told you, and we compare myself to what I was like 3 years ago, or let's say like 3.5 or maybe 4 years ago, you're going to notice that actually they are two different individuals. So I'm not that person that I used to be. So there is sometimes people who cannot understand that there is sometimes a moment comes in your life whereby you have got to evolve. You've got to start thinking small and you've got to start thinking big. So you start evolving. And the more you evolve, you also shed a lot of skin. So when you're shedding skin, it feels as if like there is people around you that you used to know. People used to be around you. They cannot understand what you're doing. You know what I mean? People, they cannot relate what you're doing. They cannot even fathom the reason as to why you've decided to do those things that you're doing at that moment. So the reason as to why you see those guys are going to come around and they'll be very, very curious. What are you doing? What does this thing mean? What's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of this? What is that project? What is this? You are going to have a lot of times, you're going to have a lot of resistance. Now the resistance is coming from those people who don't have anything going on with themselves. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm talking about the people who haven't yet done anything on their lives to better themselves. They want always to do the same thing they've always done. They are still in that same bubble that they've always been. So those people, they come around, we call them the curious mind. I call them the curious minds because those people, they are trying to get nosy and curious about what it is that thing you're trying to do. You know what I mean? They cannot fathom what it is you're trying to do. So they are going to come around. And sometimes you even see them, many of them will try to let you down. You know what I mean? Forget about that thing, what you're doing. What do you think? Have you ever seen any member of our family doing those kind of things? Have you ever seen any member in our society doing those kind of things? Forget about it. People will come around and they are going to continuously fight with you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as you keep on, because I've told you guys, when you start this journey of development, you have got to make sure that you stay true to yourself. You have got to make sure that you are going to stay true to yourself and you are going to stay on this path regardless of the background noise. Because I can guarantee you as well, there is going to be a lot of background noise. Sometimes it will be too much noise that it may even sometimes force you to get off your path. You know what I mean? So if you're listening to this kind of individuals who are coming everywhere from all corners and try to discourage you that you're doing the wrong thing, you have got to know that the only reason why they are discouraging you is because you are doing something that is intimidating them. You know what I mean? You are doing something they do not believe in. That is the first thing. Why don't they believe in it? That is because that is not their vision. So you are doing something that they feel is impossible. So they'll come around and tell you that forget about that thing. What are we talking about? That project, it can't even work. Have you seen the other person who tried to do that same thing? The person failed and those kind of things. You are going to hear a lot of noise, ladies and gentlemen. It has been more than 3 years in this journey. And as I keep on evolving, also my subscribers and my followers start to change. Because remember now, you start to vibrate higher and get into higher frequencies. So you move from these lower frequencies, whereby you are now engaging a lot of these curious minds and the haters and the stalkers, and you start getting out into that bliss. You know what I mean? You start becoming the real you, the real authentic you that you're supposed to be. So most of the times, when you start vibrating higher, a lot of people, they cannot handle that energy. So it's the reason why you see a lot of times when you keep on going. So it's like the higher you grow, the more you grow, the higher you elevate, you meet a different wave of people. You'll be around them for some time. You'll keep on growing and evolving. You'll go to the next level. You meet another different types of people. But you're going to notice that actually, somewhere along, somewhere up there along the journey, you are no longer seeing those people that used to be a part of you. You know what I mean? I'm just going to keep on moving. I don't like stalkers. So, the higher you elevate, ladies and gentlemen, you meet a different wave of people. But most of the times you're going to see, because when you're elevating higher, you're making people extremely, extremely uncomfortable. So people are coming around. They will follow you for some time. Like me, I've told you guys, I'm speaking from my perspective, right? So there will be these people who will come around and they're going to pretend that they like your stuff. I'm happy about. Of course, minus the haters, of course. They're first going to come around and they're going to pretend that they like your stuff. Oh, keep on going. I like what you're doing, and these things like that. You know what I mean? They even sometimes support you or even follow you. But when you start getting out of that bubble and you start ascending to higher levels, now you meet a new wave of people, because every layer of success, you meet a different you meet a different set of demons, but also you meet a different set of angels. You know what I mean? So you meet a different set of angels who understand that level that you are, but also you meet a different set of demons who are extremely intimidated by your growth. So when we're talking about this thing of growth, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just doing this video to help you guys, because a lot of you guys, you're starting to think about these things of growth and development and things like that. You know what I mean? I do not necessarily mean that I am where I'm supposed to be, but I know that I'm not where I used to be. You know, back in the days, many years ago, I'm not where I used to be. So I can feel this. I know this already. You know what I mean? And it's evident on my channel. So there is people that used to follow me back in the days. You know, they used to, oh, yeah, I like your stuff and the things like that. You know, those kind of things. Sometimes you have this group of people that coming around to see what it is you're doing at that moment. But when you keep on moving higher and higher, let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, people are going to feel that they can no longer keep up with your speed. You know what I mean? Because I've told you guys, a healed individual is a person who is unstoppable. A person who has healed and they have healed their demons. They have worked on their inner demons. They have shed a lot of skin and they are starting to evolve. They are evolving. You cannot stop those individuals. It doesn't matter who you are. Ladies and gentlemen, it does not matter who you are. You cannot stop those individuals when they are on this journey of growth. A person who is healed, you may sometimes play around with the person who is not healed, the person who is still struggling to heal. But when the person has healed and they are putting the work, you cannot stop those people. So there is going to be a time always when the higher you go, because remember I've told you guys you're unstoppable. So every single day you have something new in the mind. You're elevating and you're growing to different heights. So most of the times on those heights, you will meet people that cannot even look you in the face. You will see a lot of these family members. They cannot even send you a text. They cannot even call you. They no longer want to meet you because you are doing something that is completely intimidating them. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. You can talk to these guys who have been on this journey of evolution. You can talk to everyone you know. They're always going to tell you the same thing, that you are going to meet people. They will even sometimes want to. They could even sometimes take your life if they can, because you are doing something they cannot even think. They cannot even imagine in their heads. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen. Many years ago, I did not have a brand. It is this path of healing that caused me to build a brand for myself. And I've been working on that brand ever since, and I'm continuously until this moment working on that brand. The reason I'm doing this is because it has put me on this journey whereby I can now be able to grow out of this bubble and think for myself and do those things that are actually resonating with my soul. Not only that, creating me an income at the same time, and helping inspire a lot of people. So there is people who don't know anything to do with this kind of thing. So a lot of times, the curious minds, they will come in the beginning, they will come around, forget about that thing you're doing, forget about it. Family members, people are going to hate you, ladies and gentlemen. You have not seen hate than the hate you are going to get the moment you start creating or embarking on this journey and this journey of growth and spiritual development. You have not seen hate, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see that hate, but most of the time, it is the hate that is coming from the low vibrational people. You know what I mean? So, because you see, the thing is, we are all vibrating at different frequencies. So, the higher you go, you will meet high vibrational people, of course, the people who understand and can speak your language. But at the same time, on lower frequencies, you're also going to meet a lot of these lower frequencies. So, these people, when they run into you sometimes and they see the things they look at the things that you're doing, it is going to make them feel uncomfortable. And you know what is even the funny part? It is even very strange, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you see these individuals, they are doing well. You know what I mean? Maybe sometimes they have a nice job. You know what I mean? They own a home. You know, they have a nice car. They are doing they got it going well with themselves. But there is something what they could. There's a difference. What actually I need to do a video about this. There is a difference between spiritual wealth and material wealth. The many people that you admire, there's people that you see around you driving Bentleys, doing well in life, going all these trips and things like that. They are spiritually bankrupt. Ladies and gentlemen, let me repeat this one more time. The people that you think that you're celebrating, a lot of people you call this the so-called celebrities, the people you think that you know, you want, or you admire, or you what do they call? What is that word called? You look up to. A lot of those individuals, the only thing they have to show is the cars they drive, the houses they live. You know, sometimes when they buy a new car, they will come around and flaunt their cars and flaunt their mansion and things like that. Some of them even have reached an extent of flaunting their own bodies. You know what I mean? So they're putting their bodies on display and flaunting their own bodies. And you're thinking that they have already made it in life. But let me tell you something. The most people that you think that the so-called people that you admire or you're looking up to, not all of them, again, not all of them, but many of those individuals, they're spiritually bankrupt. A person who is spiritually wealthy, because I've told you guys, the difference between spiritual wealth and material wealth is not the same thing. So spiritual wealth, you're embodying wealth as a person. You're not embodying wealth in terms of money, currency, and things like that, but you're embodying wealth from your soul outwards. The people who you're talking about, who you're seeing that are materially wealthy, they're embodying wealthy from the outside in. So in the inside they're empty, but on the outside they're wealthy. But the people who are spiritually wealthy, they are rich from the soul, but they may sometimes not have that wealth from that wealth on the outside. But there's one secret you guys need to know. Spiritual wealth. The people who are into this spirituality and the things like that, those people, they have already mastered the art of creation. They have mastered the art of wealth. They already know that wealth does not really mean money and driving big cars and things like that. They have mastered the art of wealth. And those individuals, they have got a high potential of getting whatever it is they want in this life. Because they have already mastered the art of the universe. They already know how everything works, how energy works. So they're just trying to make the moves to manipulate this energy and to get where they want to be. That's what they are doing. Is the reason as to why you see sometimes people who you think that they are material, they have got material wealth. Is a lot of times why you see sometimes people are going bankrupt. People all of a sudden they are going bankrupt. They lose all their money. Sometimes you can see millionaires, these millionaires and things like that. In a few years or things like that, they have already lost their money because they have not mastered the art of maintaining that wealth. Spiritual evolution, ladies and gentlemen, it is the only thing that is going to put you on a path that only you can take account for. It is going to put you on a path that only you can take credit for. The reason being that it is only you who understands how you got to where it is you are at that moment. So when you're talking about these things of growth, development, these journeys of self-development and things like that, We are simply talking about creation. But when you're creating something, ladies and gentlemen, you are creating something from scratch. So the reason as to why sometimes you see a lot of this jealousy, these friends and enemies, the enemies, the jealousy friends, family members, and things like that, they're starting to come around and act jealousy towards you, is because you are doing something that is challenging them. Every time you do something that appears to be a challenge to other individuals, it causes a lot of jealousy within those people. And sometimes this is very subconscious jealousy. You know what I mean? They want to come around you. They will try to smile. Oh, come, let's have a coffee. Let's go for a meal and things like that. So they want to go around and smile with you, but on the inside, from the inside, they actually hate you. Is the reason as to why you ask them, why do you actually hate me? They do not have a reason why they hate you. They just hate you because you're evolving. So it is a journey which puts you on this path, a very unique path that actually intimidates and scares a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because free thinking involves doing something that other people cannot do. All these people you're talking about, these people who have actually made it in life, like I've told you, all these people, they are free thinkers. They just woke up one morning and they say, okay, I'm going to create a design. I'm going to create a. There could have been some people. Some people used to live like very very deep in the villages. He woke up one day and he said, I'm going to create a design. So he created a type of a shoe, for example, or he created a model of a car, or they created something. They have always been creating. Those people, they are free thinkers. And there is many of them, even the knowledge they are using and the crafts they are using, they never learn those things from school. That's what they call free thinking. So you're thinking for yourself and you're building from scratch. But now you're doing something that not everyone else around you can do. Number one, and secondly, you're doing something that everybody's scared to do. That's what they call free thinking. That is the real wealth. The moment the universe starts showering you with abundance, that abundance will never stop. Even that's what they call generational wealth, because you're building something that even the future generations to come, it is going to sustain your generations to come, the future generations to come. It is what they call generational wealth. So whatever you're doing, ladies and gentlemen, stay on track. Do not worry about resistance. Do not worry about the hatred, because that one will always come. All the guys who have been talking about success, they have always been talking about being hated by their closest friends and family members. Being deserted, being hated, being rejected. You're going to see it all, but you have got to know you're supposed to be keep yourself on track and keep on going, because at the end of the day, you are still going to get where you want to be as long as you put in the work. But number one secret to this whole thing is healing. Heal first. Ladies and gentlemen, I've emphasized from the very beginning of this channel, I've emphasized healing. There's a reason as to why I've been talking about healing on this channel. I have emphasized healing because it is healing that is going to put you on that path of spiritual development and growth. A person who is not healed is a person who is resentful. When you see people doing big things, you start getting jealous about them. You start fighting with them for nothing. You start calling them all these different kinds of names. It is because you have not put in the work to heal. You heal first, ladies and gentlemen, and your path is going to be revealed to you, and you will know eventually where it is you want to go, and eventually you're going to get exactly where you want to be. So let me know what you think about this video, guys, in the comment section below. You always know that I love and appreciate your support. You can always book a session with me, guys, if you want to. As you notice that I'm not really much into this narcissism thing every now and then. I come in every now and then and talk about narcissism, but I've really pretty much going out of that frequency pretty much in these days. But when I come around here and I talk about the subject. But if you have got an issue dealing with narcissism, come around and let's talk. Book a session with me, and I'll help you with whatever it is you're dealing with. And until then, guys, it's always a blessing to have you guys on board. I'll catch you guys in my next one. There's almost signing out. Peace.